Hi, this is Cindy with Quantum Kaleidoscope. Hope you are doing well. I'm gonna do a quick-ish. They're never as quick as I want them to be, but I'm gonna do a little spread for the collective. Anyone who's drawn to watch this, um, it's gonna be an interesting week. A lot of scales are gonna be balancing out, and it's kind of like. I don't know if you saw the other reading I did, which, talks a lot about, speaking truth and balancing the scales and mending and things like that and blending, in terms of like the other reading on Libra season, right? But if you're on the wrong side of justice, like for example, if you're somebody who is watching this, and there is something that you have done wrong, that could mean that justice is coming for you to balance the scales too. So be aware kind of thing. Okay, what we have is tomorrow, so the 29th. Okay, we have, Saturn going direct. It's been retrograde for since May 11th. Okay, and so it's gonna go it is at the tail end of an almost 3-year cycle. Well, basically 3 years, because it went in, 2017, December 2017, and is leaving and is going into Aquarius on, the 19th of December of this year, kind of thing, right? And so we had a preview of this roughly January. I don't know, probably January to May or something like that. We had a preview of this Aquarius energy, if you could think about it, what happened, in your community, during, March, April, May, did we reinvent the wheel? Did we, do some interesting structures? Have things been done in your community that have never been done before? That's preview of Saturn in Aquarius. Right now it's in Capricorn. I remember showing something that's going from that kind of Godfather, kind of whatever series to the, Aquarius Doc Brown, and so we are gonna see, so Saturn, since it does, it's karma, it's structures, it's, pushing you outside your comfort zone, so if you think back about the themes that have been happening from, since December 2017, and also, and then you'll probably seen some kind of progress, in the spring, and then there's been a halt because a lot of things have been retrograde. So we also have, okay, Pluto has been retrograde too, which that goes direct on, on Sunday, but that's again more, well, both of these are big planets, so they're slower moving planets, so they're going to affect us more, on a collective sense, but also in the sense of it is really teaching us lessons, and teaching us and it's one of those things about you're going to start seeing progress, you're going to start maybe things have been in someone's junk mail since, April, May, and then all of a sudden they find it and then they respond to you or something like that, things are going to be moving forward. That also means justice is moving forward. Okay, we're in Libra. Okay, I don't know what just happened here. Okay, so 2 of Wands. So this is, okay, so this is a new deck. I don't even know what it's called, unfortunately. I had the Line Strider, I believe. where I'm here now, right? I don't have a deck, and so my last one I used cards, playing cards, and so I went out and bought a deck today. Okay, so this is the 2 of Wands, and so I do think that there's going to be some decisions have been being made. We have been reflecting, for a long time, and then you're gonna see a lot of changes this week, especially if people have been holding back. We have an Aries full moon on the 1st. That is explosive. Okay, especially because it's in Libra. And again, I never talked about this before. It's me versus the we, and if you've been and then it's also about justice. So if you've been feeling that things have not been unfair, and if you haven't been maybe communicating correctly. Okay, I don't want to say correctly, is there a right way or wrong way to communicate? But let's just say in a balanced, fair, in a peaceful kind of way, let's just say. Or you've just been more kind of passive aggressive, you know, and then, you know, things come to light, you know, or you can't hold it in any longer, you know, like, you know, October 1st is going to be about things that happened in Aries season, you know, like things that happened at the end of March and April. Okay, you're going to start seeing like, you know, manifestations, you know, but things are going to come to light, especially because we're in Libra, especially because Saturn, you know, karma, you know, is, you know, going direct. It's going to be slow, you know, as it moves up, but you're going to start seeing a repeat in the second chance. It's like, what can you do this time? You know, it's like, did you waste the opportunity? Like, I mean, okay, if you, like, you hear a lot of great stories about, like, I think I even saw the other day, like a magazine just kind of like, whatever, anyways, there's like talking, like, I didn't look at it, but it was just, it seemed like it was about, you know, like things that people have accomplished since COVID, right? And so it's like, you know, we're probably gonna get locked down again or whatever, you know, depending on where you are in the world. And so it's like, what can you do this time? You know, because we're going to be repeating the same degrees as Saturn, you know, speeds up and then moves into Aquarius. Okay, once it moves into Aquarius, okay, we saw the preview, you know, in the spring. Okay, again, you know, people doing social distancing and, you know, limiting things and, you know, burying barriers and masks and everything like that, right? You know, and people working from home, you know, like Aquarius energy is that technology, that network, you know, and innovation, you know, and like taking that knowledge, you know, and like the lessons you've learned and putting it forward, right? So it's almost like, you know, what worked well during the spring, either on an individual or at a collective level, what didn't work well. Okay, because we're going to have a chance to redo it. And this time, when we do it, it's going to last, whether we like it or not. It's going to last at least, you know, for the Aquarius, you know, like it's going to, you know, because of Saturn, you know, you're going to have, you know, the restriction of innovation and like, you know, so I mean, there's going to be a resistance, you know, it's like already what you're kind of seeing, a resistance between like wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, you know, or whatever the case is, right? And so the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see that fight collectively, you know, and see what ends up, you know, coming out of it probably as we go into Pisces season, you know, 3 years from now. 3.5 years from now. That's probably like actually kind of blending. Anyways, I'm like digressing. But anyways, I'm gonna do a reading. Magician's on the end of that like whole spiel. So I mean, we have the power. You have the power. Everyone has the power to create the reality that they want, okay? But, you know, the dark side of the magician is like they can pull the wool over your eyes, right? You know, so that's why you're seeing like, again, you know, like Saturn is about corporations, you know, and structures and governments, right? You know, and Aquarius is about innovation and the collective, you know, and probably the 99%, you know, kind of thing, right? And you're gonna find that like battle. And so with the magician, I was like, what was I gonna say? It's like you're already kind of like, you know, highlighting, like people are highlighting, you know, the injustice in the world, right? So expect more of it, and expect more of it this week, especially because clarity has been happening. People, you know, have been getting their epiphanies, you know, especially if they've been doing their like, you know, shadow work and like looking within and like seeing what makes them happy and what is just and what is their truth, what is their personal truth, you know, like what is the society that they want to build and what they want to create, you know, like what do they want to see, you know, like the future to look like, and how can you step up your game this time, you know? Anyways, so we're heading into something, you know, pretty interesting this week, so prepare. You know, if there's something that you need to do to, you know, lower the tower moments that are probably going to happen, maybe do it. Anyways, all right. So let's see what it comes out. Okay. So what can we tell anyone who is drawn to watch this video? What can help them stay in highest vibration and on their truest path as they, go throughout this week? So from September 28th to, I know the 1st is on, whatever, so I don't know, October 3rd. So anyways, how can they survive? And again, when you have, like, okay, it's not going to be as, this full moon's not going to be as explosive because you have Mars in retrograde in Aries, which is the ruler, okay? And Mars is the god of war, kind of thing. And so, like, I mean, it feels really comfortable in its sign, but when it's, going, retrograde, it's not as intensive an energy. Okay, so this is kind of the time to, get that, Aries fire, that Aries, like, I mean, in a lot of essence, they're the fool, they're just going to take that leap and, know that everything's going to be okay, and astrologically speaking, like, we need that Aries energy. It's the first of the zodiac, in order to encourage forward movement, encourage that fire and that, like, god of war energy, right? Okay. Okay. So the theme of this week, what do we have here? The 3 of Wands. Okay, which is interesting. This is Aries energy, actually, which is, like, since we're, I was just mentioning about, like, the Aries full moon on October 1st. It might be on the 2nd, depending on if you're, where you are in the world. Okay, but I just know, like, I don't know all these cards in terms of, like, what they are, but I know it's specifically 2nd. You can, what did I just do? Oh my goodness, hold on. Okay, that was weird. Well, the lights are on. I was just saying, because I'm 2nd Deacon Aries, I just happen to know that this is, like, the tarot card for for the middle of Aries, which is also means, like, the more center you are in Aries, is, you would think, is in theory potentially the purest of that energy. Anyways, so you have the ability to manifest the power you need to get shit done. Okay. And on the general side, like, the general scheme of this is, like, about seeing your ships coming in, knowing your plans, expansion, enterprise, if you're doing something with, like, shipping, So, I mean, okay, what we have on the bottom of the deck, okay, was just sitting there, because, like, after the lights went off, okay, is the Empress. Okay, so the Empress is the queen of all the queens. Okay, she is love. She is Venus. She is Mother Nature. She radiates love and just, like, and creates and tries to spread that love to others, right? Okay, so you do have, like, this is also self-love, right? Anyways, we'll see how this plays out. Kind of, like, a little jumbled after the, like, lights went out. I was in, like, a zone, and now I'm not in a zone, but whatever. Okay, so the past that's influencing the present, or in the sense of, something you've learned in the past that could probably help you right now. What is this? What does that say? So, because it's a new deck, this is, like, the first time I've even used it. I opened it up, shuffled a bit, So I haven't really seen it again. Like, okay, so who was this? 10 of Cups. Okay, so 10 of Cups is about that, like, happily ever after. That is about that fairy tale. See if I can get this, like, so it kind of, maybe if I put it back, I don't know. Okay, it is about, like, that fairy tale, feeling, happy with another, feeling emotionally content. So this is the past. So given that it's a 10, okay, 10s do still represent endings. Okay, so there either was some kind of ending that's happened in an emotional sense where you felt that this was all, because it's the ending, right? Like, it's like this is as far as I can go emotionally. It's like I, thought I completed it, like it would be good, but I mean, like ultimately, if this is your 10 of Cups, if this is where you are, this is potentially where you are going to be forever. Like if you think about this as being like a bar, like, so I mean, if that's good, like, I mean, that's completely, if you are completely content, like for some of you, this is going to represent that met your soulmate, you are feeling completely like emotionally content, but for other of it also means that there was some type of ending, because this was the past, some kind of thing that was emotionally fulfilling at one point, and potentially in the family sense, or at least in like definitely an emotional sense. Okay. Because I mean, like, people can be emotional about a place too, right? But or if anything, it can be just about what is your 10 of Cups. Oh, cool. So I didn't really know what that was, okay, when I was showing it. So I guess it's two birds, and they're like hugging and stuff like that. But it kind of also looks like a heart. That's cool how they did that. Nice. Okay, so it's either about clarity about like what your 10 of Cups would be, or there was some kind of ending, But at the same time, this is about self-love. This is about creativity, right? Like, so I mean, if there has been some kind of ending, in some capacity, it's like you are starting to see your ships come in. You are starting to see what you have been working on, come through, Anyways, okay, so the present is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so we have a lot of passion here, okay, because even with the queen, the Empress, okay, if she's the queen of all the queens, which means that she embodies all the elements. So the wands, the swords, the pentacles, the swords. Did I say them all? Cups. So she embodies them all and has like a perfect blend of all that, right? So that's also passion, and love, right? Okay. So the Knight of Wands, he is fast. He is passionate. He goes whatever after he wants. So it's like, this is like seeing what you want. But it's also, I do believe it's like from turning your back on something. Okay. And now you're on a journey. Or like what's happening this week, is that like you're following your passions. You're choosing love over fear, or choosing self-love. And I just happened to see this under because I was like, saw something about the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, it's under the Empress. Okay, so that's luck, and that's like forward movement. And so like maybe you've already been, making, forward movement. And so this is about expectation and manifestation, on a 3D sense, to actually, it's like, and the Queen, the Empress. She is, again, the chick that knows she's going to get what she wants. So, she sits there in a place of abundance, Okay, so the challenge. It's the Eight of Pentacles. So work. Okay, so it's like, the Three of Wands just went, I don't know if I made it in the camera or not, but okay. So the challenge is work. Like, I mean, maybe this is about, again, getting that fire back in work, like, or maybe work has been getting completely in the way, so you haven't been able to, follow your passions, or maybe it's about like assessing, like, again, what really brings that fire under you? What is that creativity, Okay. So your, spiritual lesson, or what's being, drawn to you. Okay. What does this say? The Magician. I like this one. Okay. I'm looking at it closely, but he's like a monkey, and he like has some something like a beaker, and like all, you know, magicians, they have the like, you know, the infinity symbol and stuff like that, right? Okay, so you have the power to create whatever you want. You have all the tools, okay? These together, if you can. If you think that if she's, you know, all the queens together, okay, you know, this is magic. This is, again, he has all the tools too. Like, you know, it's like probably if you look closely enough, he probably has everything there. You know, there's probably like, you know, water and something in the pentacle down there and the, you know, okay. So this is about what you have. Okay. This is like manifestation on, like, again, that 3D sense, on the everyday sense, you know, expansion or whatever kind of thing. You know, and this is on the bigger, you know, it's like maybe the situation, okay, maybe after an ending or something like that, and you've been doing, you know, a lot of, you know, self-love work, you know, finding out your passions, you know, now you have this expectation, you know, that something is gonna come in, and your higher self, or, you know, spiritual guidance is that, you know, you do have the power to manifest this, okay? And it may seem insignificant, like in the sense of it might seem like an everyday, you know, arrival, you know, an everyday like shipment, you know, like an everyday, you know, letter. Like, I mean, I don't have to see, well, I mean, the Knight of Wands can definitely be a message, you know, kind of thing, right? And it could be something about work, right? You know, but like, it can seem small, maybe, you know, even if there's an expectation for it of some sort. But I think, you know, or your higher self is trying to tell you that you can make magic with this. And it has the ability to create whatever you want. Okay? And it's about following your passions, about getting on that horse, you know, like sending that message, you know, like, I mean, work might be getting in the way, you know, or like, for sure, you know, in the sense of like just with everything, especially with Saturn, is pushing us to like, you know, be structured and, you know, responsible and things like that. But at the same time, you know, let's go back to the Empress, right? You know, if she's self-love, you know, and she's balances all the, you know, the elements, right? You know, she knows when it's time to play. You know, like she knows when it's time to, that when she needs to like give herself, you know, that own emotion, you know, like take a bath and enjoy a bubble bath or whatever, you know, or when she needs to create or give to people, right? Because I mean, you're not going to be able to give your all if you're not like replenished kind of in your soul, right? So she knows that. Okay? So anyways, you're manifesting something big that you have an expectation for, okay? And it might be about, you know, like, it seems like you know what you want that will make you emotionally fulfilled, you know, but it is now about getting on that horse, sending that message, you know, even if work's been getting in the way, you know, or if there's something that you need to do to like if this is, you know, ships coming in kind of thing, you know, or expectation, you know, you're having challenge with work, you know, like maybe you need to, you know, manifest some kind of assistance, you know, maybe. Okay. All right. So the unexpected this week is the Two of Swords. Okay. So far, I'm happy that the Seven of Pentacles hasn't come out. Now, is Two of Swords better? I'm not going to say what's better and worse, you know, I've never really kind of thought about it. Same kind of energy, but I mean, I guess this is a little bit, okay, Seven of Pentacles is, I am going to compare it, you know, again, it's about the assessment, and it is about like that physical assessment. Now this is the mind, you know, like balancing the mind, balancing the thoughts, you know, So the unexpected, I think, might be that someone's going to take action, after there's going to be some type of peace that comes in, that balances the thoughts. Okay. See how that plays in. Well, I'm like almost done. Okay, your guidance. What does that say? The Page of Pentacles. Okay, so that's an offer. That's a message. That can be learning something new. So for example, if this is about, like you haven't been as passionate, or there's been a challenge, or okay, like maybe there's something you're really passionate about in terms of creating, like maybe you're really passionate about music or something like that, but you have like an everyday job, or it doesn't have to be an everyday job, but a job that's no longer inspiring you, kind of thing, right? So the Page of Pentacles can represent, learning new skills, embracing that creativity. It is about, giving an offer. Okay. It is about, being ready. Okay. So should this Two of Swords here, if this is unexpected, maybe the unexpected is that you are ready to make this offer or take this leap, have some fun, you've been waiting long enough, I think. Okay. And what kind of outcome we're looking towards? Five of Swords. Okay. So this is generally conflict. It can be some harsh words, so I mean, okay, let's take this in the sense of like thinking about what's happening astrologically too, right? Okay. Like if this is about business, right? Whether you are an employee or a boss, it can go either way, right? If you think a situation is not just, okay, like I said in the beginning, the Magician can pull the wool over your eyes. And so this can be like, so if you're somebody that is, has been sensing that there is something that is, it's kind of shady happening, it could potentially happen, or it could be, you could be right about that. Okay, but most of you though, I feel like it is about, like it's about like following your passions, like what that is in terms of a business sense, or finding that like like what is that work that would bring emotional fulfillment as well to you, or maybe at the same time it's like, again, how do you balance work and play? Anyways, hopefully that made sense. I'm going to take a takeaway message. Keep the Empress out here, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, if you go for it, and have the courage, and you know that you have the power to create whatever reality you need. What's this? Okay. So, death. Not literal death. This is transformation. Okay. So, what you have here is this week. Okay. There's been indecision, maybe because you think that there's something, okay, with the Magician, with the Knight of Wands together, Five of Swords, Ten of Cups, there can definitely be something shady, and then so this could be the end of that, when you finally, communicate, or go elsewhere, or whatever the case is. You're no longer in this, you're clear. Okay. Otherwise, on the other sense, this is about, a big transformation. Okay. You are manifesting something huge. It may not seem big. Okay. It may just seem that you're just kind of waiting there on the cliff. Maybe you're thinking you're gonna find some, like, I don't know what they eat, like, or whatever, but then you find a monkey. You manifest something huge, or something like something that you would never expect, and there's a huge transformation. Okay, you know, but your guidance is to, you know, either learn something new, you know, make an offer, you know, get excited again about something that you can create on a tangible sense. Okay? And so, yeah, and the star at the end. Okay? So this is about having hope. You know, this is about healing. This is about following, see if we can get that in a little bit, you know, following your guidance, you know, especially after a destruction. Like, I do think now that, like, there was something that was emotionally fulfilling at one point that ended, you know, like, it probably seemed like a happy ever after. It might have been like a family, like, you might have had a full family or something like that, and it came to end. Or again, this is just about, you know, like, the idea, you know, I'm not saying just, but like the idea of what you want, you know, again, in like what would be emotionally fulfilling to you. Again, this can be still in a work sense, but it does look like it can be about, especially with let's keep in Libra on here, about balancing. Okay, the Empress balances everything. Okay, and the star is about having hope. And I think with it being under the deck too, it's like you've already, like, you have been healing. Okay, and this is the time that, like, okay, you're getting your fire back. Okay, but I do feel like with the Five of Swords, okay, this can be winning at all costs. This can be, again, harsh words, you know, especially with the Knight of Wands. Like, I mean, you could be dealing with somebody who, you know, is really immature, you know, and there could be conflict in order to bring this transformation about, right? Okay, you know, but be careful, right? Because, I mean, the downside of this is that, like, nobody wins, right? You know, but it is about, you know, putting yourself first. Okay, maybe with Libra season happening, it's probably about truth as well. Okay, because we have the Five of Swords and the Two of Swords. Okay, together that's a Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is about lies, deceits, theft, stealing. It can be about leaving in the night, you know. But I do think, though, you know, if, you know, the guidance, though, is to, you know, approach this from a very balanced way. You know, make sure that you are, because this spread, I'm surprised, like, maybe it's just based on who's watching this. So, like, I'm surprised it's not as, like, maybe again also because you're not having, you know, like, you know, Mars feels good in Aries. You know, it probably wasn't in Aries last year when Mars, you know. Okay, and we're heading towards the blue moon at the end of the month, so lucky things are happening. So with the tamed energy, like, I mean, you know, this is the time to be honest, be truthful, go for what you want. You know, balance the work and the play. Okay, because you do need a balanced mind in order for what is going to happen moving forward. Like, I mean, this is just the start of the next 3 to 4 months, okay? So we need to all be in our, like, highest power and our strength, and, you know, and actually Mars is going to be in Aries for a very long time. It does not happen, like, it's going to be for 4 months, so it's going to be retrograde until November, I believe, and then it goes direct again, you know, so you're going to have that whole kind of tamed, you know, getting that fire, you know, kind of thing, and then it's going to go explosive, and then we're going to start. Anyways, again, I can't stop having these readings so long. Anyways, hope you're doing well. Hopefully this was helpful.